Hey guys, my name is Matthew Mimi. I run a cold lead generation consulting business, and what we do for our clients is we help them get up with the processes, the systems, the copywriting for them to generate more leads online, more sales calls, onboard new clients, and of course generate more revenue. We've helped clients get set up on LinkedIn, cold email, and Facebook. I'm documenting the little tips and tricks that I've learned over the last couple of years to share with you and the world. So in this little video, I want to talk about why I believe automation can never fail in your cold lead generation strategy. So let me set up sort of the context and why I believe this. So sort of typically the way that somebody might begin their cold lead generation online using messages would be to sort of manually, for example, let's just, I guess, start with LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn, you start messaging people, you sort of optimize your templates, you figure out the messages that get you replies. Over a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you kind of crystallize your messaging strategy. You might have some templates that work. You might have a sequence. You might have a sequence of 5 or 10 messages, what have you. But the point is you have a manual outreach strategy that seems to be converting to getting you sales calls. That's great. The problem with this is that when you do this for a couple of months manually, you very quickly realize that well, in fact, you got to spend a couple hours a day doing it. You got to sit down and sort of use whatever CRM or system you've developed to keep in touch with your sort of unresponsive prospects. Perhaps somebody's replied they're not interested, and you want to follow up in 6 weeks. But after a couple of months, you might have a couple hundred, maybe up to 1,000 or so prospects that you're in touch with, you're in communications with online, and you're spending way too much time, 2 to 3 hours a day doing this kind of redundant, repetitive work. So, so obviously the solution to sort of these 2 to 3 manual hours of work is to automate things, and so. At this point, you're thinking, okay, well, I'm happy to pay, maybe up to $100 a month if it's going to save me 3 hours a day times 30 days. That's 90 hours of work every month. So what you do now is you set up the automation, and you know what works. You've manually been doing it. You've been sending out the messages manually. So what you do is you program the automation to send out the exact same templates that you've been sending out manually. And so if it's been working manually, obviously it's going to work using automation, because really the core of the strategy is the messaging. It's not about the automation. And so, the automation is not going to fail. If it works manually, of course, it's not going to fail with automation. That's why I believe that automation can never fail, provided you've got a winning messaging strategy. The copywriting is sort of the most important in lead generation. It's not the automation that's going to get you the leads. It's the copywriting. So automation can never fail, and not only that, it's going to amplify your results, because automation is a lot more consistent than a human. It's not subject to human error. It should certainly amplify your results at least 3x over your manual outreach. That's what I've seen in sort of my business and for my clients as well. So there you have it. I think automation is a natural extension of manual outreach. I think automation can't fail, provided you've got a winning messaging strategy. And I believe that every beginner should begin with manually sending out messages to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I invite you to hang out on our blog on subscribe-please.com for more tips and tricks to help with your cold lead generation.